Babysitting. I gave my nephews $5 each. I told them to hold it against the wall with their nose. Whoever dropped first would lose, with the winner getting to keep both. Kept them busy for 3 hours. Now that I'm the parent of a 6-year-old, I really understand that scene in Return of the Jedi, where Yoda gets so tired of answering Luke's questions, he just up and dies. Children are the best fundraisers because they don't understand economics. Principal, the student who raises $500 for the school will get this free hat. 12-year-old me, that is such a great deal. Apparently my 9-year-old nephew wanted permission to make a Facebook account, and my sister was like, no, you're 9. And then he figured out how to make one behind her back, and got caught immediately when he sent her a friend request. There was a massive unflushed jobby in the toilet. I asked my boys who did it, and my 10-year-old son said it was him. My 5-year-old son is crying cause he says it was him and his big brother is taking the credit. Have a great week everyone. That time I figured out how to take the lid off of the vent and proceeded to get stuck in it. Audrey, 6 years old. Daddy, did you know that after Michael left my school, he came back and now people call him David? Me, does he look and sound totally different too? Audrey, yes. Me, that's not the same kid honey. Audrey, long pause, maybe. Remembering when I was 7 and found out that showers instead of baths saved water, so then filled the bath up with the shower head to save my parents money. LMAO. Baby elephant tries to hide behind the light pole after spotted eating sugar cane. Oh good, my son put my wireless headphones in a plastic container of water to keep them safe. Good, great, fine, how wonderful. When I was 12 I tried to cheat at poker by pulling some cards out of a nearby deck when nobody was looking. I grabbed 3 kings and put them in my hand, discreetly hiding the cards I was replacing. So then there I was, holding out my 5 cards, 3 with red backs, 2 with blue backs. Where in the dad manual did it mention how to stop a 3-year-old from taking bites out of freaking drywall? I was terrified of ghosts when I was little, so my mom told me I can vacuum them up and had me clean the house, telling me I was getting rid of them. When my son was 4, he shizzed on the floor and said he was now a dog. We all have our proud parent moments. He has decided that, because his boots are camo, he shouldn't have to put them in his closet because you can't see them. I love it when the little kids I'm teaching online have complete and total misconceptions of what's going on. So far, I've encountered the following. 1. I had been teaching a little girl for several months, when one day she said to me, "My mother says you're a real person, not an app. If you're a real person, show me your husband." 2. I was about to end a class, but the little girl I was teaching didn't want the class to end. She turned to her mom and asked if she could please watch one more episode. Turns out she was under the impression that I was a very interactive TV program. 3. I couldn't find my marker in class today. The boy I was teaching was like, "What's your apartment number? I'll come up and help you find it." The boy lives in China and I live in the United States. I guess most people he knows live in the same building as him, so he assumed I did too. 4. I had been teaching a kid for quite some time when I mentioned my age in class. She was like, "Wait, you're an adult." She'd thought I was 12. When I was a kid, I would go around telling people that I wanted to be a cashier when I grew up, and even had a cashier toy, because I thought the customers would give the money to cashiers and they would get to keep it. That was my plan to be rich apparently. Little sister put a corn dog in the microwave for 26 freaking minutes. I remember when I was a kid and wanted to play GTA San Andreas. I didn't actually know the name of the game, so I just told my brothers or parents, "I'm playing Black Man." Identically unperturbed by what they did to themselves with the Clippers at 5 AM. When your son comes home with this that he made an holiday club, apparently it's a hedgehog. One time my parents made me stand in the corner for a punishment. I was crying pretty badly. Then my 2-year-old brother, sensing my distress, walked over with that Frankenstein walk all toddlers have, and stood next to me in the corner and started crying as well. Rockets that were made by 4-year-olders. Parenting achievement. I got my first "I'm never talking to you again today" By the way, it lasted less than 10 seconds, and then she made me a bead bracelet that says, "I love daddy." B9. Playing Paper Mario. Halfway through game get to part where you have to buy a quest item from a store. Shop owner Toad says item is out of stock and will be in stock soon. Assume it means I have to actually wait for it. Spend 3 in real life months checking in the game to see if the item has come in stock yet. 8 years later watching a speed run of the game. Realize you didn't have to freaking wait for it. You just had to freaking continue the game and it had come after a checkpoint. Am I retarded? Yes. My brother couldn't find any toilet paper, so he took this kitchen roll and cut it in half. My niece done told her school we put weed in her foot at home. That's why she be sleepy. Y'all, it's parsley. My sister going to jail. My 2-year-old and 4-year-old have been communicating via walkie-talkie for 20 minutes. They're in the same room. The walkie-talkies have no batteries. Over. Have a good war. Actual letter from kid. When I was 9 I got the food slapped out of my mouth for calling my 12-year-old sister a slut at the dinner table. She dropped a fork or something so my smart ass says, "Nice one slut." My mom apparently had no idea I had confused the word with klutz. OMG, I just joined my nephew's IG live and he goes, "That's my gay uncle everyone." I don't know why he feels the need to tell everyone that constantly, lol. When I was riding in the car as a kid, there was one road where my mom would start repeatedly looking over her shoulder and accelerating pretty rapidly. I thought the road was a place where police were always stationed and that she was being chased by the cops every single time. It wasn't until I was about 11 when I realized that she was just merging onto the freeway. This is my little baby cousin and he is dressed as a smoke detector for Halloween. None of us know why, but he is really obsessed with smoke detectors. That's all he's asked for in the way of presents these past 2 years. He calls them smoke detectors. Also he has a scrapbook of everyone in the family posing with their smoke detectors. My mom is a teacher, and a few years ago she was teaching a class of 2nd graders. I was at her school and the kids were having recess outside, and I was walking through a doorway and I saw a 2nd grade boy and girl sitting on the ground in the hallway. The girl was crying and the boy looked pissed off. I asked what they were doing. The boy responded, "Talking about our relationship," in the most serious voice a 2nd grader could muster. I continued walking and never saw them again. 3-year-old student, sobbing. Me, what's wrong? 3-year-old, nobody is helping me clean up. Me, did you ask your friends for help? 3-year-old, no, I wanna do it myself. Is this the new Venom movie? When I was a kid, maybe 5 to 7, my best friend and I used to beg my mom to let us play Cinderella, and she would just give us a bunch of chores to do. Intervened just before my 5-year-old was about to administer a coronavirus test to my 2-year-old with a chopstick. After 30 minutes in timeout. Dad, I'm sorry for being mean to Luna. Me, thank you, I appreciate that. Can I come out of my room now? Me, yes. What do I do with my pee bucket? Me, what pee bucket? You said I couldn't leave my room. Me, you, what? No. You need to come home. I'm done being a boy mom. He discovered his balls. You had me worried for a second. And proceeded to squeeze it to see the veins. See that, mom, it's cracked. It's broken. I'm dying. When I was 3 I fell asleep in a dog bed. So when I was 4 and still in kindergarten I really liked Spider-Man. But this wasn't like any other kid's fandom of Spider-Man. I even dropped spiders on my hand to get them to bite them. One day we were doing things with super glue, and the teacher told us to be very careful because it was very sticky. So I poured it all over my hands and stuck them to the closest wall to be like Spider-Man. It took 10 minutes for the teachers to notice and by then the glue was dry. It took an hour to get it off. My parents were so annoyed when I got home, but I just remembered that I was closer to Spider-Man than any of those idiots in my class would ever be. I was so dumb. Bro, you don't understand. Some kids were Naruto running. What? So I asked if they like anime. They said it's from freaking Fortnite. I'm so pissed. When I was a kid I was doing grocery shopping with my mom. I was maybe 7 around the time. My mom was putting the groceries in the car and talking to someone. So in my mind I thought this is taking too long. So I left. I went home, which is at least a couple camps. I still have no clue how I knew the entire way home. The house was locked, so I waited in the garage. My mom didn't find me, so she called the cops, who eventually gave an Amber Alert. I was found later that day in the garage by my aunt. This happened somewhere around 2011 in the Netherlands. Went through the drive-thru at the bank and the lady gave my kids a lollipop. Connor goes, "It took that long just to get candy." Yeah, bud, we just waited 20 minutes at the drive-thru candy store. This reminds me of when I took my young daughters to the Ohio River to watch submarine races. Okay, it's easy to fool kids, but fun. I'm Superman. My mom ran a daycare out of our house when I was growing up. We usually had 3 or 4 extra kids around the house, as well as my older half sister and I already living there. My mom took all of us to the grocery store once. I must have been around 6 years old. We get to the checkout line and the cashier says, "Wow, lots of kiddos." I look her in the eye and proudly exclaim, "Yup, and we all have different dads." This morning my son said his ear hurt, and I said on the inside door outside. So he walks out the front door, comes back in, and says both. Moments like this got me wondering if I'm saving too much for college. I just talked to my mom and she told me a story of my dumbass from 1st grade. Apparently on the first day of school, I told everyone that my family called me Tiger. My family has literally never called me Tiger. I just wanted to be cool. So for the whole year, every single student, teacher and staff member called me Tiger. No one at home knew my little secret until the parent-teacher conferences in the middle of the year. The principal said something to my mom along the lines of, "It's so cute that you guys call him Tiger." And my mom had no freaking clue what was going on. Wouldn't buy her women's razors. As a kid I had to take choir in school, but I hated it, so I would just mouth the word watermelon over and over, so it looked like I was singing. Me, Trey, don't eat that, it will kill you. Trey age 6, kill me, for how long? Me, forever. Trey, like, how many hours? Me, forever. It is poisonous, it will kill you forever, you will never come back. Trey, so for like 2 hours or 3. Back when I was but a wee lad, I would unwittingly get myself high with markers and glue. I thought they smelled nice, only realized what I was doing in 6th grade during an anti-drug assembly. There is an imposter among us. When I was a kid I wanted to be a paleontologist, but then thought by the time I was an adult, all the dinosaurs would have already been discovered, so I stopped being into dinosaurs. In 1st grade I wanted to grow up to be a bird, and one day I remember my neck and arms being covered in little red bumps, and I thought the transformation was beginning, and I ran to my teacher crying saying I wasn't ready to become a bird yet, and it turned out I was just allergic to yogurt and I wasn't turning into a bird at all. I'm thankful for Godzilla. Me, sick. My wife, take her this popsicle so she feels better. Kid, brings popsicle. Me, I don't want it, thank you. Kid, runs to trash can and tosses it. Me and my wife, dead stares. Why didn't you put it back in the freezer? Kid, I forgot, runs away dancing. This Waukesha boy had to be rescued by firefighters after getting stuck in a cat scratch posting. No, we aren't kitten yet. So when I was a kid we had those thick TVs, the ones with the round screen. Anyway, it had a disc player at the bottom of it. I really liked 3 movies and wouldn't you know it, I shoved all 3 movies in the disc slot, hoping the characters would get along. I only got a butt whooping and a broken TV. When I was 5 it was time for PE. The teacher said to get into our PE kits. I forgot my PE kit, so instead of, telling the teacher, I had the galaxy brain idea of getting into my underwear and doing it that way. I come into the hall and the teacher absolutely goes ballistic. She's asking me why I'm half naked and I go, because it is my PE kit number 2. I was so dumb. Lies parents tell their children. My dad told me that oil spots on the street were little kids that got run over because they didn't hold anyone's hand while crossing the street. My 12-year-old son got annoyed at a video game. Me, I'm going outside to take the hat and props off the snowman so they don't get too wet overnight. 6-year-old daughter, I'll come help. We go and get the stuff. Me, okay, we have everything. Let's go back in the house. 6-year-old daughter, goodbye snowman. She then kicks the snowman to death. I'm raising a psychopath. Parents just calling it like it is. It says Dumbo. What did you do as a kid that makes you cringe when you remember it? When I was maybe 8, after swim class I sat naked on a bench and other boys came and watched me move my pee-pee up and down. I just sat there with a boner and flexing my muscles. It moved up and down and a bunch of kids were there watching and giggling. Not a great memory. He's loving it. Mother details how she slyly packages her picky son's food in a McDonald's Happy Meal box to trick the 2-year-old into eating it. You can even see the little teeth. Why? Hello moms, I'm hoping someone has advice. My 6-year-old has decided to go vegetarian. He's stuck with it for like 6 months now, so I think it's going to stay this way. I want to fully support him but he won't eat vegetables. This kid in my class just bragged about cheating, and the teacher was there. My kid's favorite place in the world, the dog cage. Like the video and subscribe right now, and watch my previous Dank memes videos. Thanks.